What's going on, everyone? This is your commissioner back at it again for the Week 9 recap. Man, did we have an interesting week this week. First off, want to say we have a few teams moved to 6-3, some to 5-4, some at 4-5, some at 3-6. I mean, up to this point, Week 9, I think you could agree with me, Mike. Everyone is still in the playoff hunt.
100%.
I mean, I think the people at 6-3, I would put like at a 85% chance that they're in. But everyone else, if you're 5-4, 4-5, or 3-6, everyone has an opportunity still. So I'm looking forward to that in the next coming weeks. But let's get into it. Let's start with LB versus Cam Bildhauer. LB wins 121-109. Cam, unfortunately, got off to a decent start with his injuries, but they kind of caught up to him. He's on a 4-game losing streak. While Mike Baden gets back on the winning side of things, he's 6-3. For him, he had Kyler Murray put up another 43 points. A.J. Brown with 20 and John Brown with 17. Other than that, though, 13 from Jacobs, only 3 from Melvin Gordon, 3 from DJ Moore. Giannu Smith found the end zone again. But other than, solid performance. I mean, you get 43 from a quarterback, 20 from a wideout, you're pretty much set. For Cam, though, he matched his quarterback with Josh Allen for 42. But after that, it wasn't much. Hasty with 3. Keenan Cole Sr. with 1. His defense, -2. Hawkinson's put up 14.5. McKissick, 17. If he just got a little bit more from his RB and the wideout, Cam could have been looking at a win this week. But let's look at his bench here. Christian Kirk, 23 on the bench. Starts him, he wins.
Yeah.
So, just little roster moves like that. For Christian Kirk in there. Yeah, you throw him in there instead of Keenan Cole, you're looking at a Cam Bildhauer win.
Yeah, for sure.
Just the way fantasy goes. But things are looking good for LB batting lawn. 6-3, definitely in the right position here moving forward. He should make playoffs. For Cam, it's an uphill battle for sure for him. But getting Golladay back, Jarvis Landry was on a bye. Maybe he gets some things figured out roster-wise, and he can squeak out some wins here. I wouldn't feel too confident, though, if I was him. It doesn't look good for him to make playoffs. But 3-6, like I said, he's still in it. Not sure what his future schedule is. But he could rattle off some wins. Thoughts?
Yeah, it's just Kyler Murray's just going to put up 40 a week, it seems, anymore. It just looks like one bad decision from Cam, and just could have been a different story. But I think we both picked LB to win, and I think we also both said LB is going to be right at as projected, which he was, and we didn't think he'd get much more. And we figured if Cam didn't have his injuries, it was going to be closer, but it was pretty much how we said it was going to go, I feel.
Yeah, I didn't think Josh Allen would get 42, so I think that's what kind of kept it close. But McKissick and Hawkinson were great for him. Even if he starts a decent defense there, it doesn't get negative. Could be a little bit closer. Just a tough week for Cam. Bounce back, though, next week. We'll preview the upcoming matchups, just to give you who plays who at the end. But, Mike Baden moves to 6-3. Cam falls to 3-6. Let's look at probably the biggest upset of the week. In a low-scoring contest, Matt Carter versus Joe Baden. Carter, 2-6 heading into the week, gets a big must-needed win over a pretty solid Joe Baden team. Let's take a look at it. Matt wins 105-99. Like I said, very low scoring. But Carter got 30 from Breeze on Monday night, and that was the difference, or Sunday night, and that was the difference for him. Other than that, Matt Carter had 30 from Breeze and 25 from Keenan Allen. Other than that, 8 from Zeke, 5 from Montgomery, 5 from Keenan Allen, 7 from Hunter Henry, and 10 from Mike Evans. It wasn't the best performance, but it's a win. That's all that matters. For Joe, I got 26 or 26 from Russ, 16 from Julio, but only 8 from Lockett, 1 from Jordan Reed, 16, 9 from the defense here, which was key because Joe had 2 interceptions by Russ, but those went right to his defense, so he didn't really lose points in that aspect because they just went right to his defense. But this was a true game here. Jonathan Taylor kind of disappointing.
He's not seeing the ball as much. I mean, they're running like a 3-headed monster up there. I mean, Wilkins, Hines are all touching the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just his team was projected a ton of points, and I don't know if any of them got. I don't think any of them got there. He missed his projection by 40. I didn't see this coming at all. I mean, Seattle was in a great spot. I mean, Michael Thomas, you didn't know what he was going to do.
I'd take what he had, though.
What?
I'd be happy with what he had, though.
Yeah, for sure, especially in a blowout because they ran the ball the whole second half. I mean, Julio did his. I mean, Lockett, another inconsistent game. I mean, just once again.
He is. He's
very inconsistent. I mean, he's a great receiver. He's just very, very inconsistent. So
Paul mentioned that a few weeks ago. You know, he's 25 plus or he's 10, 8 or less. I mean, that's what it is with Lockett. Moving into playoffs, I wouldn't want that. It's just you don't know what you're gonna get. So that's tough there. But that's a huge win for Matt Carter.
He might have to win out to make it, but that he had to win this one to win out. So.
Exactly. He has to get some wins going, and this is a big start for him over Joe Batting, whose team is pretty solid and who is going to get Nick Chubb what looks like this week or next week. So, Russell Wilson, Jonathan Taylor, you throw in Nick Chubb, you got Tyler Lockett, Julio, Michael Thomas. He got a nice little team there. It's a tough loss. But he's also, like others who needs to win some games to get in. His team could be dangerous in the playoffs, but he's like many of us. He has to get into the playoffs. So it'll be a tight one there. But Matt gets the big win. Like I said, moves to 3-6. Joe falls to 4-5. Next one, let's look at Tyler versus Scalos. Tyler gets a win, puts up some good points this week. 131. That's usually enough to get you a win. 131, he beats Nick Scalos to 108. For Chief, that's now 3 in a row, 3 losses in a row. For Tyler, that's win 1 in a row. He's 5-4. Scalos is 3-6. Why don't you take this one?
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll start with Chief here. Lamar Jackson, man, I mean, he just continues to just put up very, very mediocre numbers this year. He's not. Last year, he was consistently 30 with his rushing floor. He's just not getting anywhere close to that.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones only getting 12 first game back. I mean, I can't be mad at that at all.
No, and they pulled him early too.
Yeah. Ronald Jones. I mean, he's so hit or miss this year. Metcalf has been he's just been so consistent. Even when Lockett goes off, he's been going off too. Marvin Jones was in a good spot this week. No Galladay, he did his.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews, another guy, man. Baltimore's offense this year just isn't the same as last year. It's just not the way. I don't know what changed. I mean, their offensive line's a little worse, but they run the ball so much. So all their weapons in the passing game, I just don't like it anymore. Their defense is solid.
Well, he can't really pass.
We said earlier, Chief just really wasn't a match. I mean, Deshaun Watson in a great spot, easy money. Fournette did his, even in a blowout. Robbie Anderson has just been absolutely as steady as they get.
Yep.
Mike Williams got hit. Kelsey, I mean, he's by far and away the top tight end. He's I think second or I think he's second and third in the league in receiving yards.
And
he's a tight end, so I mean. And then Judy absolutely went off this week. Absolutely went off. Locke was feeding him the ball anytime he could.
Yeah, I had him at DFS.
What made this an easy win for Tyler was just his performances from Judy and Kelsey, just absolute studs.
Yeah. Just going off that, no Ridley. He was He was a scratch. He's hurt.
Yeah.
Josh Kelly, though, could be a play moving forward. Jackson got hurt. He had 10 on the bench. Emmanuel Sanders had a nice little game there. Just looking at these teams for Scalos, I don't know Baltimore's schedule off the top of my head, but I know they have to play Pittsburgh again, defense. Let me look at their schedule here. Yeah, Baltimore has left at New England, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Dallas, Cleveland, Jacksonville, Giants. So you're looking at playoffs. He has Cleveland, Jacksonville, Giants, but Chief has to get there first. At New England, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Dallas. I mean,
New England, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, those are decent defenses. So
I mean, we'll see there. Chief's gonna have to get Chiefs. If I'm Chief, I think he's kind of similar to Cam on the outside, looking in playoff wise. He has to start winning games quick. The question for Chiefs team is, it's simple. Lamar Jackson does great. Chiefs team's going to do great. But I just don't see that happening. It's just been an off year, and I think that continues the rest of the year. For Tyler, he's now, 5-4? I think I said? Yeah, 5-4. He's definitely inside the playoffs looking out. He's in right now. He has one of the better records in the league. Deshaun Watson, I don't know his schedule, but he has at Cleveland, New England, at Detroit, Indy, at Chicago, then at Indy and Cincy. So could be some tough games there. But Tyler, fantasy wise, I just don't know if you can get it done without these running backs he has. I mean, he's getting it done, but is that consistent enough for the playoffs to make a run? Because Kelsey and Robbie Anderson, I think, can carry you there. But you're gonna need more help. You're gonna need something. Can that be Judy in the flex position? Ridley coming back? I mean, he has the wideouts. It's just Le'Veon Bell, Fournette, and Josh Kelly. Can that get you there?
I'll say one thing. His team looked nothing like this on draft day, besides Watson and Kelsey, pretty much.
Yeah.
You got to give credit there. I mean, he's grinding out wins. It's a gritty team.
I mean,
but getting 11 from your running backs isn't going to win you games to get you into the playoffs. I mean, he survived this week because his running backs only got 16, so he only lost the running back battle by 5. But that ain't going to win you many games. It's just not going to happen.
But at the same time, I'll play the other side. Put up 131 points. I mean, that should win you some weeks.
That's true. Very true. Very true.
But I agree with you. He has Kelsey on a bye this week, so we'll see what his numbers look like. Let's move on to Randy versus Jake May.
Real quick, we did both pick Tyler, too. So.
Yeah, we both picked Tyler there. Jake May and Randy. Jake May puts up 126. He's currently on a 4-game win streak. Him and Paul Sham are battling out to see who can get the longest win streak. But Jake May moves to 6-3. He beats Randy 126-88. Randy falls to 5-4. Jake moves to 6-3. Start with Randy's team. He got absolutely nothing from Tom Brady. 2 points, 3 picks. Kamara had what you would say off game, only for killing them 38-3. He only had 40 yards and a tutty. You would think he would have a lot more. Dobbins with 5, but DJ Chark 7, 146 and a tutty, 27 points. That was pretty much his whole team right there. That's it. Jefferson, Gesicki, Frank Gore, I mean, he gets Carson back. Maybe that gets him going here, but with Randy's team, I'm not huge on Robert Woods, but I mean, he's definitely a better option in there. I don't know how I feel about Randy's team. But Jake May's team, like I said, 6-3. Ryan Tannehill 18+. Connor with only 4. Robinson with a 15. Allen Robinson with 15. Tyreek Hill with 33. Hayden Hurst 13. Claypool 15. New England's D3 and his kicker 8. I mean, that's a solid week from the Tana Thrillers. If he gets any more than what he got from James Conner, even throw in maybe some more yards from Tannehill, I mean, he's looking at 135 plus points, week with everyone else, but that's a solid win for him. He got a nice team. Evan Ingram on the bench with 15, McKinnon with 15 on the bench. I mean, he's got some spots there. Lazard's going to be coming back. It could be another wide receiver option. His team looks good. His team looks built for the playoffs. I picked him at the beginning of the year, #1 preseason rank. He fell off after the first week or two, but climbing right back up at 6-3, 4-game win streak. He's going to be a guy that I wouldn't want to run into the playoffs. I like his additions with Robinson and Tyreek Hill. His team's solid. I think he's a real threat. But for Randy, I think his team's a little bit too inconsistent for me. Big weeks, bad weeks. I know he's had some injuries, but I think he could be one that might slip out of the playoff race. I'm not real sure about his team.
Yeah, I mean, Tannehill put up 20 points. He only had 10 completions the entire game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just continuing to put up points when he's not even having big games. James Robinson touches the ball, it feels like every play. If you watch Jacksonville games, it's insane. Allen Robinson's the only one that knows how to catch on the Bears. If Foles can get it to him. Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
I mean, his team is just built for a run.
It is built for a run.
There's not much. I mean,
I like his tight end
he's
options.
almost guaranteed $125 a week, and if that's your floor,
that's great.
You're looking. Yeah.
I like his tight end options. He can play, different weeks. Hayden Hurst, Evan Ingram, mix and match them.
You can play matchups there. I think they're pretty much one and the same there.
Yep. What are you thinking on Randy's team though?
You
don't have to go deep. You don't got to go deep into it because he don't watch them. But I think he could be a team that falls out of the playoffs.
I mean, you can't start Frank Gore ever again. Gesicki hasn't done anything all year. I mean, he has Higbee that can put in there. You put Woods in your flex. I mean, he still needs another running. Chris Carson may. He's 5-4, but he's just a very inconsistent team. I would say he's in looking on.
I agree with you. Let's go to you. We both picked Jake May there, by the way, as well. So we didn't differ much, honestly, but we picked the same games, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we did pretty well. I think we won 4-2, maybe.
Yeah, so, but next game, we got 2 more here. Let's make it quick. We got you versus Tom Cada. Tom Cada put up 120. That's a solid week. But he went against the high-scoring team this week with 149 points. And that's you. You put up 149. You moved to 5-4. All of a sudden, you're on a 2-game win streak. Tom Cada puts up 120. And he's on a 2-game losing streak. Drops to 4-5 now. Looking at his team, I like his team, but he also is a little bit inconsistent. He can boom every week for, he could push every week 150 points if his team does what they should. But then he'll have bad weeks, and a bad week is 120 points. But Rodgers, we said this on Thursday. We both picked him to win solely because Thursday night, Adams got 33 and Rodgers had 36. We did not expect Derrick Henry to get 6. David Johnson got hurt, only had 1. But Devontae Parker had 12. Deontay Johnson had 14. His tight end didn't do shit. Defense didn't do anything. And his kicker got 12. I mean, it's just 7-8 points from the running back position. And you look at your team, Mahomes outplayed Rodgers, so that was huge for you with 38. Gurley finds the end zone again. That's all he does. Edmonds gets over 10 points. You got to be happy with that. Juju had 21, 693, and a touchdown. That's solid. McLaurin continues to be a stud without really good quarterback play. Puts up 24. Waller is awesome. I really like him. And Will Fuller had 500 and a touchdown. I don't think he did anything until the fourth quarter, Will Fuller. Which was awesome, and he puts up 21. Your defense had -1. You could have been pushing, 150, 160 points, which was solid. Your team was great. Mahomes continues to be great. Gurley proves me wrong. I thought he'd fall off a little, but he keeps finding the end zone. You tell me he gets 12 every week. I'm happy with it. On your bench, though, Big Ben had 31. Curtis Samuel with 26 and Gallman with 14. So you got a nice little depth on your bench as well. Moving forward, I like your team. But on the other side of things for Tom, I already went through his stats there, but on the bench, Kareem Hunt on a bye, T. Higgins on a bye, on his bench 32 with Bridgewater, 17 and a half from Jimmy Graham. You throw him at his tight end, it's still not enough, but it's,
it's a 140-point week,
yeah. Yeah. Like you said, though, I don't know how, I think Tom's still in the playoffs. I think he gets in just because I think his roster's good enough. You look at some of the other teams in here; they're on the fringe, but their roster's not as good as his. So I think he sneaks in. I think if you can get Mahomes continuing doing what he's doing, if you can get Juju to be consistent, I think you could make a run as well.
That's gonna be tough this week without Mahomes. So
yeah,
and that'll move me to 5-5, and then who knows from there. So
yeah, we'll take a look at that here after we're done.
Right.
But we both picked Tom to win that, and we got that wrong, and you got high scoring. Figured that game could be high scoring, and you got it. So that's a big win for you to move to 5-4, like you said, with next week looming. So that's a big win for you. For Tom, 4-5, 2-game losing streaks. He got to cut that out here. He got to get it going to make a playoff run. Finally, let's move to Paul versus myself. Paul was fighting for high-scoring week, lost by 2 points. He put up 147 points. I put up 118. Like I said, Paul and Jake May, 4-game win streak. 6-3 for Paul. I lose. I fall to 4-5. Why don't you take this one, Mike?
Yeah, sure. I said Herbert was going to be the highest scoring player of the week. Wasn't close, but I mean, he still did his. McCaffrey, great pickup there, almost 40 points, but looks like he is going back to the bench with a little injury. You had to throw a flyer in with Laird. That didn't help. Amari Cooper, I mean, you can't really expect much more. Gilbert throwing to him. Darnell Mooney, that offense didn't have more than 100 yards until the fourth quarter. Ebron caught a touchdown. Crowder didn't play too much, I saw. The snaps were limited, so that's kind of tough. He played Monday night. He didn't really have much of a shot coming to Monday night anyway.
No.
I mean, his team just absolutely went off, too. Drew Lock was in a great spot, absolutely balled out. Dalvin Cook, best player in the NFL, hands down. I mean, he's just literally unbelievable. Gibson did his normal. Hopkins, very quiet for a team that scored 4 touchdowns.
For
26 points. I don't think that'll continue, though.
No.
Stephon Diggs, just even if he doesn't find the end zone, he's seeing 15 targets a week. I mean, he's just unbelievable. I think he leads the league in receiving yards. Noah Fant got hurt in the first half and played sporadically. He gets hurt every other week, but I really like him, but he just gets hurt way too much.
Yeah, he does.
Godwin, you just don't know anymore. I mean, with coming, all those targets. I mean, they didn't do anything, so you can't judge it just off that game. I mean, this game it was just a dominant performance by Paul.
Yeah, no.
We kind of saw it. We saw it coming in. So
yeah, I agree. I figured with Mixon, Boyd, and Sanders on buys that this week would, this week would kind of be down for me. But I didn't think I'd even put up 118 points. If you told me I'd put up 118, I kind of maybe thought maybe I'd be in the game, maybe have a shot. But yeah, just one of them weeks. What are you going to do? Paul puts up 147, gets it from all over the place, every position, put up numbers. I'm not worried about it. The only thing concerning McCaffrey out this upcoming week with a shoulder injury. Really hope that doesn't continue. I have the running back depth to fill in, but I probably wouldn't have made the trade for him, if I knew he'd be out another 2 weeks or so, because I need to make a move now. For myself, I have 4-5. I think I'm on the outside looking in. I need to start winning some games here quick. Hopefully I can pull out some wins here and sneak in. I think if I sneak in to playoffs, I don't think anyone would want to face Herbert, McCaffrey, Mixon, and Sanders in a playoff game. Win or go home. So I just want to sneak in and have an opportunity. For Paul, 6-3, he's in.
Yeah, his team's sweet.
His team's good. His quarterback is a little questionable. I mean, I don't know if you can run with Burrow and Locke, the rest of the year. But Burrow still has to play the the Steelers twice. I think they got to play the Ravens again. So he could have some tough matchups for Burrow. But Locke, I mean, they're probably going to be trailing in most games and got to throw the ball. So I mean, that could be good. But Cook and Gibson, they'll carry you. He's got Gaskin on the IR. He'll be back for playoff run. Diggs and Hopkins are a nice combo. Fant, like you said, gets hurt. I think Paul can make a run at it for sure. I think he could be a favorite up there. But he keeps winning, and that's what you got to do when you want to make a playoff push. Yep. He's setting himself up to get in and make a run at it. But yeah, we both picked Paul there. Week 10, just a quick preview. Like I said, me versus Scalos. Scalos, real quick. Lamar versus at New England. Myself, I don't have a flex right now because McCaffrey looks like he's going to be out. So that this is a must-win week for me. And I got Cooper and Crowder on a bench, so I'm going to need someone to pick it up. But Scalos doesn't have anyone on a bye. So we'll see how he does. We have you versus Randy. Mahomes on a bye. Gurley on a bye. Eckler could be returning. I'm not real sure about that.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
But you can throw in Ben versus Cincinnati if he plays. And you got Robinson on a bye. For Randy, he doesn't have anyone on a bye besides Frank Gore, but he's getting Chris Carson back and Robert Woods off a bye. Jake May versus Tyler. Tyler has Kelsey, Bell, and Ridley all on bye. So he's rolling with Robbie Anderson, Travis Fulgham, Hooper, and Judy. Not bad. Running back, though, Fournette and Latavius Murray. For Jake May, he got Wentz at the Giants, James Conner, Cincy, Robinson versus Green Bay. He got some favorable matchups. That should be a close one. You got Paul versus Joe Batting. That's going to be a close one. Looks like Nick Chubb's going to be back in action. No one on a bye in that one. Paul has his kicker on a bye. And Joe has Julio on a bye. That'll be a very good game. Carter versus Cam. This is a battle of the loser is probably out of the playoffs. Loser, this one falls to 3-7. They're probably done. So this is definitely one to keep an eye on and a must-win for both teams. Early projections, 122 to 120. So it's going to be close. Matt has Zeke on a bye. And Cam has Edwards-Helaire on a bye. So that one will be close. And the final one is LB versus Tom Cada. Not much missing here bye week-wise. So this one should be close. Projected 113 to 128 for Tom. That'll be a fun one to preview. Tom needs a win. Mikey can afford a loss, but he's trying to get in and solidify a spot. A lot of good weeks coming up. For the Thursday show or Friday show, I had a couple people went on. Cam Bildhauer was supposed to be on last week. He's going to be on this Thursday for the show. And then the week after that, Joe Batting, Every Day I'm Wrestling, once on. So we're going to get him on the following week. Maybe we'll get him and LB on there, the two brothers. Get them on there for the show. Cam will be on there Friday. But let's keep it up. It's interesting weeks coming up. Teams got to start winning. You'll see who falls out pretty much here shortly. But everyone's in contention. Some must-win games this week for a couple people. Looking forward to it. Should be good. Standings-wise, let me just go over the standings real quick, and that'll be it. You have Randy you got Paul, Jake, and LB at 6-3. All 6-3. Then you got Mike Germ at 5-4, Randy at 5-4, and Tyler at 5-4. You got Joe Batting 4-5, me at 4-5, Tom Cada at 4-5, and then you have Cam Bildhauer at 3-6, Scalos at 3-6, and Carter at 3-6. So it'll be interesting to see how those play out. Everyone's still in it and look forward to it. See you guys on Friday. Thanks.
Real quick, birthday shout out, Justin Defa. Did you end it?
No.
All right, yeah, real quick, birthday shout out, baby. That's our commissioner, baby.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys on Friday, boys.